Published 1651 EDT, the 11th of September 2017. Updated 2012 EDT, the 11th of September 2017. There may not be a scruffier goal scored this season, but right now, West Ham will take it. Beggars cannot be choosers, and West Ham had one hand at hoping for any scrap of good fortune against Huddersfield on Monday night. David Wagners Premier League first-timers boasted the meanest defence in the country going into this game, and with 71 minutes gone West Ham were struggling desperately to find a way through. West Ham have lifted themselves off the bottom of the Premier League thanks to Pedro Obiang's fortuitous opening strike. Obiang looked to curl his shot around Mathias Jorgensen, but the ball deflected off the defender and looped into the net. Andre Ayew was fastest to the rebound after Aaron Cresswells' corner ricocheted favourably off Jose Fonte into his path. Slaven Bilic will be delighted with the victory in addition to a clean sheet following a difficult first month to the new season, and then they caught a break. Well, actually, they caught three. They say fortune's always hiding in this corner of London, but it certainly popped its head around the door and said hello when the ball fell to Pedro Obiang. Pedro fed a pass in from the right to substitute Andre Ayew, who in turn found Obiang. From 20 yards out he tried a shot which, it is fair to say, did not look capable of troubling goalkeeper Jonas Lossell. And then, the intervention of Huddersfield's human pinball machine made it a match winner. First the ball clipped Christopher Schindler, then it hit the back of Mathias Jorgensen, and this sent it in a high arc over a despairing Lossell in goal. It still needed a nudge from the inside of a post to make sure, but that was enough to finally send it into the net. West Ham's stadium announcer immediately gave it to the man, but it may be one from the dubious goals panel. To be honest, if there is a ludicrous goals panel, they might want to have a look at it, too. West Ham celebrated, however, as if blessed by a wonder from the boot of Lionel Messi, and good luck to them. On nights like this, it hardly matters how victory happens, and it was not as if they did not deserve it. They were by far the better team, made the Lions' share of chances, had the most dangerous player on the field in Mikel Antonio, and responded well to significant pressure. This was a good night, too, for Slaven Bilic, the very likeable manager. A draw would have been considered little better than defeat, despite Huddersfield's rugged reputation. And with one Premier League manager already gone, many were speculating Bilic could soon follow. Hammer's striker Javier Hernandez was guilty of missing the best chance of the opening 45 minutes as he hit the crossbar. Hernandez looked well set to score from close range, and even he couldn't believe he missed such a clear-cut opportunity. Mikel Antonio was West Ham's best player on a rainy East London night as he made frequent runs down the right channel. Referee Kevin Friend speaks to Terriers captain Tommy Smith and West Ham's during an uneventful half. Graham pulled the official line when Winston Reid caught Steve Mowney in the head with a high boot. It made it 3 high-profile challenges in 3 days. TV replays showed contact in Sadio Mane's challenge on Ederson, but the similarity ends there. On a greasy surface, it was clear to referee Kevin Friend that West Ham defender Reid had slipped. His foot flew up and caught Mowney accidentally. Friend acted correctly, only stopping play for a head injury. After John Moss correctly sent off Maine, but Mike Jones erred in showing Matt Ritchie a yellow. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So this was vindication for him, too, when in the 64th minute he replaced Javier Hernandez, who had worked hard to little effect, with Ayew. A section of the crowd booed his decision. It is not just the board that puts managers under enormous pressure here. So it was fitting that, having had a hand in the first goal, Ayew should then score the second, the one that as good as confirmed victory, even if Tomins did hit the bar for Huddersfield late on. Again, it wasn't the most beautiful goal, but few cared for the aesthetics. Aaron Cresswells curled in a corner which Jose Fonte bundled towards goal and Ayew prodded in. For Bilic, on his 49th birthday, it was better than any surprise cake or present. The evening ended with the home support serenading him with "Happy Birthday to you," and the league table makes a finer sight this morning. West Ham are off the bottom, if not out of the relegation places, but 3 points is better than the giant zero the club has been looking at since the campaign began. It was good news, too, for goalkeeper Joe Hart, his first clean sheet for 23 league matches. Knowing how furious goalkeepers feel at conceding, it must have been hell for him. He didn't have much to do on Monday night, but what he did was accomplished. It took 54 minutes for Huddersfield to have a significant shot on target, but when it came, Hart was equal to the effort from Philip Billing. The last time West Ham played Huddersfield was a League Cup tie in 1997, and the last time they were in the same division was the 197,172 season. Under normal circumstances, West Ham would expect to win this fixture at home, but this encounter felt anything but normal. The downpour in the first half at the London Stadium did little to lift the gloom after 3 defeats on the road for the hosts. Under fire, Hammer's boss Bilic trudges along the touchline anxiously as he watches his side labour in the first half. Huddersfield Town striker Steve Mowney received a kick to the face from Winston Reid after a weekend of similar flashpoints. Mowney reacts after being kicked in the face by the New Zealand international, and he required treatment after the high boot. Referee Friend opted not to punish Reid for the challenge, reminiscent of the one committed by Sadio Mane and Matt Ritchie. Worry going into the game was Crystal Palace. Not that by changing Frank de Boer they may spark an upturn in form and pull away from the relegation zone, more that despite having the worst start of any top-flight club since Preston North End in 192,425, they were still not bottom of the league. While not setting any Premier League records going into this match, West Ham had somehow done worse. So this performance was better, much better, than many expected, certainly those arriving at the London Stadium in trepidation. West Ham made decent use of Andy Carroll, playing his first game since April, and in Antonio had a lively, dangerous presence. On several occasions, he skinned Chris Lowe in Huddersfield's left-back position, who was removed after 63 minutes. By then, West Ham had already done enough to be leading comfortably. Bilic was booed by sections of West Ham supporters after deciding to withdraw Hernandez for Andre Ayew after 65 minutes. Hernandez had come close to scoring but faded in the contest before he was hooked with 25 minutes remaining. Obiang received Ayew's pass before firing a goal, but his effort may well have been veering wide of the left-hand post. The substitute then added to his assist by prodding his side further in front after the ball broke loose inside the Terriers' box. Ayew can barely contain his joy at having made an instant impact off the substitute's bench despite jeers from the supporters. 23 Joe Hart kept a clean sheet for the first time in 23 league games. The previous match in which he didn't concede was a 0-0 draw for Torino against Sassuolo on January 8. That they did not was down to some rotten finishing and close shaves. Just 2 minutes had elapsed when West Ham forged the first good chance of the game. Cresswells, who saw plenty of the ball on the overlap and appears to have been given Dimitri Payet's responsibilities from corners and free kicks, played Carroll in, and the striker's shot across the face of goal narrowly eluded Yates stretching at the far post. The best chance came after 13 minutes, set up by Antonio on the right. He sped past Lowe, moved inside and cut the ball back to Hernandez, in an excellent position 12 yards out. He had to lift the ball, with Huddersfield men diving into block, but he even under such pressure should have done better than sending a shot flying up and ricocheting off the bar. Carroll and Antonio had good efforts deflected. James Collins forced a save from Lossell and Kouyaté shot wide from a good position, but Huddersfield continued to resist. It is to West Ham's credit that they never succumbed to the tension, and there will be optimism with Marko Arnautovic and Manuel Lanzini still to return. A period of quiet may also be helpful, from everybody at the club. They know who they are. Carroll looked one of the likeliest to break the deadlock in a first half in which West Ham created 13 chances to score. Cresswells sends his free kick into orbit with the full-back no closer to breaking his 17-month wait to score another goal. Andy Carroll certainly put himself about the pitch in his first Premier League appearance of the season on Monday night. Veteran defender Pablo Zabaleta was very energetic from full-back and received a blow to the face in first half stoppage time. Centre-back James Collins rises to get his head on a Cresswell corner, but he could not direct the ball on goal. Huddersfield manager David Wagner looks to cajole his team after withstanding heavy pressure amid a hostile atmosphere.